Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
The UKIP leader Paul Nuttall has been forced to admit that he did not lose any close personal friends in the Hillsborough disaster, contrary to claims on his website. He was speaking on Liverpool's Radio City Talk, and the admission calls into question his account of what happened that day. Let's just listen to the exchange.
I haven't lost anyone who was a close personal friend. There's people who I knew through football and things like that. But
I basically went to your website last night, search for Hillsborough, and it's paulnuttallmep.com.
Yeah,
it's your website.
Well, I'm sorry about that, but that is something which I haven't.
It's your own quote.
Yeah, well, I haven't put that out in my. That is wrong.
Paul Nuttall there talking on Radio City Talk. Well, let's talk now to our Deputy Political Editor, John Pienaar, who's in Stoke-on-Trent, where Mr Nuttall is standing for MP in the upcoming election. John, how damaging is this for the UKIP leader?
Well, George, this by-election is important to the credibility of Labour, but also UKIP and its leader. So to have Paul Nuttall's account of his involvement in the Hillsborough disaster challenged in the way that it has been is not only emotionally loaded, it's potentially politically significant. Paul Nuttall has called suggestions he was never present at the Hillsborough disaster disgusting, nasty and cruel. Labour are keen that his credibility is damaged. And why? Because Stoke, like the by-election on the same day next week further north in Copeland, is an important test of how well or badly is Labour doing in hanging on to traditional supporters in areas that voted heavily to leave the European Union. And so Paul Nuttall wants to see this one off. The Labour candidate here has had a lot of flack over embarrassing tweets about the Brexit campaign, among other things. This is a dispute and an election that neither side can afford to lose.
John, thank you.
Well, here the leader of UKIP has been forced to admit that claims he lost close personal friends, as he put it, in the Hillsborough disaster are false. The claims are on Paul Nuttall's website and have since been removed. As Sergio Cairo reports, it's the latest of several awkward questions that he's faced about the disaster.
Not even 3 months into his UKIP leadership, and Paul Nuttall's embroiled in controversy, facing questions about Hillsborough over claims on his own website that he lost close personal friends in the disaster, claims he now admits are untrue. In January 2012, a statement on his site quoted him as saying, "I lost close personal friends at that match," a claim he'd also made 6 months earlier. Both statements have now been taken down. Today, he was confronted with the evidence during an interview with a Liverpool radio station.
You say you lost a close personal friend. It's on your website.
I haven't lost a close personal friend. I've lost someone who I know, but I don't know who's written.
January 9th, 2012, on your own site. Lost close personal friends. It's on your website.
Well, that's not from me. I'm sorry.
It's on your own website, Paul.
Well, that is absolutely. I'm sorry. I haven't lost anyone who was a close personal friend. There's people who I knew through football and things like that.
And as for recent doubts that he even attended the match in 1989, when 96 fans were crushed to death, he had this to say.
I was there on that day. I've got witnesses, people who will stand up in court and back me 100%, OK?
But this episode will be embarrassing for Mr Nuttall, who's in the midst of fighting the Stoke by-election and raises questions over his integrity. Sergio Cairo, ITV News.
The UKIP leader Paul Nuttall has admitted that a claim on his website that he had lost close personal friends at the Hillsborough disaster was wrong. When questioned today about the blog written under his name several years ago, he told Radio City Talk that he'd lost people he knew through football at the Hillsborough tragedy, but not a close personal friend. Mr Nuttall also vigorously defended himself against accusations that his claim that he was at the match was untrue.
You say you lost a close personal friend. It's on your website.
I haven't lost a close personal friend. I've lost someone who I know, but I don't know who's written.
January 9th, 2012, on your own site. Lost close personal friends. It's on your website.
Well, that's not from me. I'm sorry.
It's on your own website, Paul.
Well, that is Absolutely. I'm sorry, that's... I haven't lost anyone who was a close personal friend. There's people who I knew through football and things like that.
In other news, the UKIP leader, Paul Nuttall, has rejected an offer from his press officer to resign over false claims made on his website about the Hillsborough disaster. He said she should not lose her career for what appeared to be a minor error after years of loyal and effective service. Our political correspondent, Lewis Goodall, is here with us. Hi, Lewis. So this dates back to the interview that he did yesterday, where it was highlighted that he'd claimed what?
Well, that he had, there's an interview where he had claimed that he in fact didn't have close personal friends at Hillsborough. Previously there were press releases on his website, several press releases that said that he had close personal friends, that he was at the Hillsborough site on the day of the 1989 disaster, and he's now rode back from that. He's saying that this was in fact the work of a press officer, as you say. She's offered to resign. He hasn't accepted the resignation, and he said this. He said, "This was an article that I did not write, I didn't see prior to it being posted by a member of my staff. Of course, I take responsibility for those things that pour out under my name, but I was genuinely taken aback when this claim was brought to my attention, and I'm both appalled and very sorry that an impression was given that was not accurate." But it's not satisfying people today, and I think a lot of people within UKIP are very worried.
Hillsborough families are not very happy.
Hillsborough families are not very happy at all. And they put out several statements saying that they're distancing themselves from all of this and that they're very unhappy with what Paul Nuttall has said. UKIP itself are obviously very displeased, not least because the millionaire backer of UKIP, Aaron Banks, has also put out a statement saying that he thought that Hillsborough was an accident and that the family should stop talking about it and taking advantage of their growing grief, which again is not exactly going to help put out this fire for UKIP.
Okay, for now, thank you.